ID. So Santa at the DMV today. What a treat.
I didn't realize that his home base is Oregon.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
Who knew? Yeah.
Taking this real ID, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, Christmas Eve now just a few weeks away.
Right.
So I had to pull out our Santa tracker.
I love the Santa tracker.
Yes, just to make sure it was working properly. And oddly enough, there he is. In Portland.
So it's showing Santa here in Portland, huh?
Yes,
He's
yes.
still at the DMV. There was a long line. Figures.
You would think that they would let him cut, don't you think? It's like, I'm busy this time of year. But the good news is our Santa tracker is up and running as we take a beautiful live look out over downtown Portland. On this Wednesday evening, clear skies still remain overhead as we sit at about 41 degrees. We'll keep those mostly clear skies through the rest of this evening as the winds slowly start to taper back and our temperatures slide back into the mid-30s by about 1 a.m. or so. Temperatures across the board already starting to fall back into the upper 30s out towards the south and west of the metro area. Mid-40s found out along the shoreline. As we take a beautiful live look out over Mount Hood Meadows. There you go, Mount Hood off in the darkness at 42 degrees. So our temperatures are above freezing. So that means the leftover snowfall is going to continue to slowly melt. But the good news is we've seen a surplus in the amount of snow so far this season. You can see that here, the black line, 54 inches is what we have so far put on the ground out towards Timberline Lodge. That's just a couple of inches higher than what we would typically see for the start of December, as our base layer really sits at a healthy level for much of our area. But we would still like to see some of that fresh powder once again return to much of the high terrain of the Cascades. As calm, quiet, clear conditions can be seen across our area now. Still holding on to a bit of that patchy fog through the southern Willamette Valley, like what we've been experiencing as of late, as the air stagnation advisory remains in place but is coming to the tail end. Expires at 4 a.m. on Thursday. That's all due to a temperature inversion. The coldest air near the surface, warm air aloft, prevents any mixing, and thus it kind of traps some of those pollutants near the surface, falling back to the moderate, if not even the unhealthy for sensitive groups category up and down the Willamette Valley. But a shakeup in our weather pattern comes in the form of this next system developing out over the Pacific Ocean, the center of the low pressure. That's starting to develop over the Gulf of Alaska. So some weather whiplashes in store for us. We've been dealing with those highs in the 40s, but we will see the rain return by the time we get into this weekend, with those temperatures sliding back into the 50s as the ridge of high pressure that's plagued us for about the past week or so slowly starts to break down. As far as the futurecast goes, increasing that cloud coverage for much of the day tomorrow, some wet weather for us along the coast, and maybe one or two of those raindrops pushing their way to the I-5 corridor. But no rain accumulation is expected for the valley tomorrow or into Friday as well. It's not until Saturday and Sunday that we start to see those rain gauges fill up close to about 3/4 of an inch to a full inch. Our 7-day forecast does show the morning fog returns Friday. Mostly cloudy skies. That's going to be in the mix for us over the next several days, as the rainiest of days expected on Saturday with a high of 51. Just to put it into perspective, our average temperature this time of year right around 49 degrees. As we see the wet weather once again return by the middle of next week.
Yeah, what incredible skies. Seeing the moon, we're looking at a live picture now, just so crystal clear tonight.
Very clear, and that means some chilly temperatures tonight.
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay. Hey, coming up, airlines.